Hey guys, and welcome back to Theme Park Eats. On today's episode, we're going to take the most beloved theme park treat and turn it into two different dishes, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Yes, it is Dole Whip. So we're going to do a 4-ingredient Dole Whip at home, but we're also going to make a pineapple pulled pork sandwich. It's something that I got for the first time at the Polynesian Resort, and I've loved it ever since, so I learned how to make it at home. Let's get started. So normally, pulled pork takes hours to cook, but with the help of the Instant Pot, it's only gonna take 40 minutes. And I'm gonna show you how. First things first, we're gonna turn it on the saute setting at normal, and we're gonna let that preheat while we get our pork going. Here I've got a gorgeous 4-pound pork shoulder, also known as a pork butt. It's got the bone in because that's gonna give us a lot more flavor. And we're gonna go ahead and season it pretty liberally with salt. You don't wanna be afraid of getting it too salty because this pork can take it. So now we're gonna add cumin, and again, we're gonna do 2 to 3 teaspoons of the cumin. Gonna get that in there. The cumin's gonna add a nice grassy, earthy flavor, which is gonna offset really nicely with the pineapple. And then we're gonna add the same amount, about 2 to 3 teaspoons of Ancho chili powder. Okay, so get that all nice and rubbed in. All right, so while that is still heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and give my hands a quick wash. Okay, now that my hands are washed, we're going to go ahead and add some oil to the bottom of our Instant Pot. We're using vegetable oil because I think olive oil has too strong of a flavor for this, and you wanna make sure you're tasting the pineapple and the spice. So that's good to go. We're gonna go ahead and sear our pork. All right, and now while that's going, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare my garlic and limes, which we're gonna add right before we start pressure cooking. So, garlic. I'm gonna do about 3 cloves and 2 limes. All right. Now we're gonna add the juice of 2 cans of pineapple juice, which is about 1 2/3 cups. So that's the pineapple juice, and then we're gonna add about 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, just to kind of help with the acidity and all that. It seems like there's a lot of acid in there, but it's really gonna help break down that pork. And then we're just gonna finish it off with some freshly cracked black pepper. And then we're going to go ahead and set it to pressure cook. So you have to turn off the saute function. Put the lid on, make sure it's locked in place, make sure that the vent is set to sealed and not venting. And then we're gonna turn on the pressure level to high. And we're gonna let it go for about 40 minutes and let that go. So to go on top of our pineapple pulled pork sandwiches, I'm gonna make a fresh pineapple salsa. So right here, I've got about 1/4 of a fresh pineapple that I chopped up pretty fine. And to that, we're gonna add the zest and juice of a lime. And I'm not gonna worry about pressing out all the juice. So that's a lime. We got about 1/2 of a red onion that I chopped up really fine also. And about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Put that in, and that's just gonna help kind of take away some of the bite of that red onion. And then we're gonna do a bunch of fresh cilantro. And just a nice pinch of salt just to bring all the flavors together. And then just toss that up real quick. And then just let this sit and let all the flavors develop while your pork is cooking. Once your pork is all shredded, we're gonna go ahead and add it to a bowl with the rest of our pork. Spoon a little bit of the reserved juices from the cooking process in, just to give it a little bit of extra flavor there. Don't want to waste any of that delicious porky flavor. Now, I first had this barbecue sandwich at the Polynesian Resort, oh gosh, probably in about the 8th grade, and I've loved it ever since, and every time I go, it's pretty much a staple for me. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever had in the parks. So, Hawaiian bun, pork, don't be afraid of it spilling all out, it's barbecue as it is, so have at it. And then we're gonna top it off with our pineapple salsa, just to really send that pineapple flavor home. It's okay if it's a bit of a mess. And there we go. Pineapple pulled pork sandwich. So we have our pineapple pulled pork sandwich, but you can't have a pineapple pulled pork sandwich without having some Dole Whip to go along with it. And I'm gonna show you how to make it at home. To start our Dole Whip, we're gonna start off with 4 cups of frozen pineapple chunks. You can either chop up your own pineapple and stick it in the freezer, or you can just buy a bag of frozen pineapple, which is what I've done. So, into a food processor. Now, we're going to add 1 can of coconut milk. If you're using pineapple juice instead of coconut milk because you're allergic to coconut, you might need to stash it in the freezer for about an hour just so it firms up a little bit. So, to our frozen pineapple, we are adding in our coconut milk. And as you can see, the cream on the top has solidified. I kept the can in the fridge for quite a while. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar, just to kind of help sweeten it up a little bit, because sometimes the frozen pineapple isn't as sweet as you want. And now for my secret ingredient, we're going to add half a teaspoon of Aleppo pepper flakes. Now, Aleppo pepper is used a lot in Mediterranean and Middle Eastern cooking, and I like it because it's got a nice citrusy kind of undernote to it, which really pairs well with the pineapple and adds a nice kick. Now that our Dole Whip is done, you can have it as is, or you can do it just like they do in the Magic Kingdom and make a Dole Whip float, which is what I'm gonna do today. So we're gonna take some of our lovely, luscious Dole Whip here, put it in a glass, top it off with some pineapple juice, and pretend like I'm sitting in Adventureland listening to the tiki birds. Oh, that's so good. Well guys, thanks for joining me as we traversed our way through Adventureland with our pineapple pulled pork sandwich and my twist on pineapple Dole Whip. Join us next time, and don't forget to follow us at Thematic ORL on Instagram and hit that subscribe button. See you next time.